so many people and companies and institutions that are now realizing that a Bitcoin strategy is necessary and definitely needed and is being embraced by so many, right? To have Bitcoin, that's how you hedge against everything that I just said, all the shenanigans that's being done, okay? And ultimately, inflation will never go away because we have a money printer, and as a country, we can't control ourselves. We will always print and we will always borrow, and we will never pay back that debt. No one's thinking about that. No one's thinking about cutting debt down, right? It's like an endless cycle, a vicious cycle. That's why so many are turning to Bitcoin, right? Inflation continues to erode the purchasing power of cash. That's why it's so important to buy assets like Bitcoin. And the greatest appreciating asset we have today is Bitcoin. Nothing outperforms Bitcoin long term, right? Yeah, and that's why everyone's following in. Look at this, Fortune 500s moving to Onchain. You got 39% year over year, record high. Fortune 500 executives say 56% of their companies are working on Onchain. I mean, basically, everyone wants to move either on-chain, build on-chain, utilize on-chain, or buy assets that are on-chain like Bitcoin, right? Total whale holdings, monthly percentage change going upwards. It kind of leveled out in April and May. Now in June, we're starting to see a rise. Again, that whale accumulation, right? You just don't know what happens sometimes. Now we're starting to see they're coming back, right? They're realizing this is the time to buy. Here's something else in terms of holders. Less than 7.5% of Bitcoin has moved in the last 30 days. That's very, very tiny, okay? 19.5% of all coins moved in 30 days. And 2017 was 21.7% of all coins. So you could see the holders, okay? Basically what this is showing is the holders are getting stronger and stronger and stronger. In 2013, 25% of all coins moved happened, well, I think this is the average, right? 30 days, and then it was 21.7%, 19.5%. Right now, it's 7.5%. Again, because of shenanigans, inflation, and institutions getting in, ETFs, everything, whale accumulation, very little Bitcoin is being moved or sold. In terms of ETFs, yesterday we had a massive outflow. It broke a streak of 19 days, but today it looks like it's going to be a really good inflow. A lot of the funds already reported, and we're going to see a positive inflow day. So great. We had one negative out of the last 20 days. Now we're moving back into the green, which is fantastic. But here's the thing about FOMC meeting and Bitcoin right now hovering around 68,000. We may seem like, okay, all's lost. What Powell said is kind of bearish or hawkish. So that means we're about to go lower? Not necessarily, because I showed it this morning and I looked at it again. We tend to see this happen. In fact, we tend to see this happen a lot, where the day of, okay, and sometimes even a day afterwards, we see like a bloody day. We see a red day. And then what happens? Then we get ready and we form actually a new high. It has happened many times going all the way back to 2023. We have seen where on the day of the FOMC meeting, we see a slight dip or a major dip. And then afterwards, we head to a new high. So there's a possibility that that is what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, markets may turn green. Bitcoin may turn green in a big way, paving the way for 80,000, right? That could be a possibility, because whatever Powell said today wasn't that bad. So Wall Street might take it as, okay, nothing has changed. We're still getting a rate cut. No chance of a rate hike. And Powell just admitted that the government's fudging numbers. So let's just go buy some Bitcoin. So that there's a possibility of that. I did say that this morning too. A lot of times right after FOMC meeting, you see some weakness and then you just head back up. Ultimately, you know what? All this that I'm saying, that's all short-term stuff. Long-term, again, I don't need to remind you guys that Bitcoin continues to form higher highs and higher lows, okay? With the volatility, with the distractions, yes, these FOMC meetings and all these geopolitical macro stuff, like they're all distractions. Ultimately, Bitcoin is going to go higher because demand outstrips supply. And if you're looking at like these kind of on-chain metrics, we are in a really good spot. Look at right before a major breakout in 2017. We're mimicking the 2017 level a lot, where we straddled that MZ line, that 0.5 MZ line, and then we broke out. We're straddling that line right now, looking to break out. It's going to happen, and when it happens, it's going to be marvelous. Of course, when we have more money in circulation, inflation is going to go up because each dollar becomes worth less. And that is why our national debt is about to surpass $35 trillion probably by the end of this month. Okay, in the upper left-hand side right here, U.S. national debt, it wasn't too long ago, we were at 32 trillion, 33 trillion, we're above 34 trillion, and pretty soon 35 trillion, okay? National debt going up is not a good thing. In fact, there's a secret window here. We are paying close to, as a country, $1 trillion per year in just interest alone on our debt. 1 trillion. Think about that. Okay, so of course the debt is going to go up. Of course we're going to print more money. Of course we're going to borrow more money. And ultimately what that leads to is higher inflation. So Powell has a really hard job because his job primarily is to cut inflation. But how is he going to do that when the government keeps on printing more and borrowing more? So the only thing he could do is raise rates, right? But our rates are so high already. The Fed fund rate is already above 5, and he's under pressure to cut now because the economy is not doing so good. So he's really stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? That's why his only course of action right now is to say, okay, we're not going to cut right now, but we will cut later. If you want to comment on anything I've said in this video, make sure you head over to the Roundtable. The Roundtable is a new social media platform created for conversations. And best of all, it's spam-free, bot-free, unlike here on YouTube. And you could have conversations with me and others like Altcoin Daily, Scott Melker, Mauro Nafal, and many others are joining daily. And you also get rewarded in tokens for doing so. So check out the new Roundtable. Click the link in the description below.